Welcome to another episode of Fridays Are For Friends. We're here with another Kitboys Club Records artist, Leekmatic.
My boy.
Incredible rapper, incredible artist.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that song titled Pressure.
Pressure, but just it came at a time in my life where I kind of let go of the comfortability of things, and I was just in the middle of that pressure. But as they say, pressure makes diamonds.
Yeah, and we were actually talking about that today when we were grabbing some of the set stuff
Yeah.
and how, getting out your comfort zone really pushes you to be great. And since getting out of that comfort zone, how are you feeling and how, I guess, does that pressure feel on you?
Yeah, I mean, some days but most days I feel a strong belief. Easier to wake up in the morning. Easier to get little tasks done, to get bigger tasks done. So the pressure has been good for me
Yeah,
personally.
feel that, bro. And how does being an all-around creative, how has that like affected your music journey?
Yeah, see, a lot of times I kind of find myself like a Renaissance man, or I try to be,
Yeah,
But I think it all coincides to one. It doesn't necessarily tend to distract because me personally, I can't stay on one thing for too long. I need other avenues, especially artistic expression. It just, if I can make videos better, I can rap better. If I can draw better. So I think it all coincides with one.
yeah, I feel that. And
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about that, the videography side. Like, why are you so drawn to it?
Honestly, I don't know. I started when I was young. When new boots would come, and we all get new boots. Like in high school, I started like doing like unboxing, but started storytelling. Like, oh, I got a shot of the goal, or then I got my feet. So that just developed my thought. Like, oh, I like videos. And then when I went to Georgia Gwinnett College, I played 4 years over there. They had just opened a cinematic media arts production degree. So I changed my major as soon as I seen that, and then it's been like that ever since.
Yeah, for sure. And how has that like then crossed over to your rollouts for your releases?
Yeah, it makes it easier because I can do a lot of things in house that I wouldn't be able to do. Um, but I always like to lead with a story, and I think what better way to capture that than visually, as well as the music. So,
For sure. And what has it been like creating a collective with like your best friends?
man, what's crazy is majority of us, probably like 5 or 6 of us, all started at a soccer complex called Smisa in Stone Mountain, and Munik actually came. He was the only white guy on the team. A bunch of refugees, um, but we all started there together, and it's just so funny how life kind of pulled us back around to where we were all ending our soccer careers, and we knew that like we wanted to teach the arts and sport at the same time, and it hasn't been really coincided like that in America, at least overseas a little bit. So we just trying to make it happen.
For sure. And what have you brought from the soccer side that is now, I guess, transferable into music?
Yeah, pretty much all of my influence. I try to throw out as many football bars as I can, even though people might not be aware. But really, like through all my injuries in football, it really kind of taught me how to dedicate myself, and I take that from more so than just like the game itself, but like what the game taught me. I bring that into the music more so.
Yeah, I can definitely relate with
Yeah,
with those injuries, man, and
yeah,
they can honestly be like the lowest points
yeah,
of your life, but having an outlet like music
right.
still, how has that, I guess, been therapeutic to you, if at all?
Yeah, I kind of feel like I always wanted to be an artist. Ever since I was younger, I just was scared to take that leap, especially I was playing soccer, you know what I'm saying, and going through all the injuries. I really wanted to get over that. So I kind of always knew as a kid, but I didn't really necessarily want to be like oh, I'm rapping now. Like when I first started, I didn't tell nobody I was rapping until they heard one of my first singles, like, oh, you could rap. And I understood then that like, yeah, I could really take this seriously, and I already had the visual to go with it. So just happened.
Yeah, I feel that. And that confidence that you gained, how do you, I guess, constantly motivate yourself to continue to pursue to be like the best
Hmm.
that you can be and walk around with that confidence? Because
Right.
as like a rapper, it's almost
Yeah.
like a must to have.
Yeah. I definitely would say I just am really in tune with myself and like my purpose to why I do it. I try to hold small moments that like doesn't seem that much, like somebody random coming up to me telling me, "Oh, you're the soccer guy that do music." Like, oh, I try to remember that at times where I'm like, oh, I don't know. that like they believe in me and everybody around me believes in me. You know what I'm saying? I got a great group of homies, so I usually think about that, and that drives me every day to keep going.
Yeah. And how do you balance being a owner of a brand and collective with music?
Yeah, like any other thing in life, like we talked about soccer, we talked about film. It all just in a weird way coincides with itself. Through Kid Boys, I was able to create my own platform to do music. You know what I'm saying, and drive through that force. Because it's basically like a creative agency. So it's been sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's not. You just got to know how to delegate to, what needs time here, what needs time there. But it's all building this one character of a kid boy. You know what I'm saying? All every aspect of life that really then brings the brand. So,
For sure. And being an all around creative, like we mentioned before,
hmm
what are you inspired most by?
man, I have so many inspirations. I'm a guy of many passions. Of course, all of the homies, all of the homies, they definitely hold me down and make me believe, reach for higher. In terms of like musically, I grew up like listening to like Eric B and Rakim, stuff like this. My dad had all the old records, the old tapes. So I fell in love with hip hop maybe around when sixth, seventh grade when Tumblr first hit, and that's when I really understood. And listening to Nas and stuff at a young age that made me, think about things more deeply than I rooted in. But I have a bunch of inspiration. Anybody that's reached like a some sort of self actualization in life, I tend to latch on to like Bruce Lee and people like this. Then I try to draw
Yeah.
inspiration from.
Yeah, being inspired by the greats, how has that, I guess, affected your goals as a person and an artist?
Yeah, it really just shows me that a certain height is attainable, regardless of anything. A lot of people sometimes look at greats and compare, but I really tend to draw inspiration from it. Like, hey, he made it here. He took care of his health, his music, and his film. You know what I'm saying? It was able to do that. A bunch of artists are able to do that now. Donald Glover, JB Fox, all these people. So I try to make myself known that sometimes you can do it all. So let me
Facts,
hear.
bro. Yeah, man, and you doing it all, bro. And
Yeah,
I
man.
just want to
Thank you.
say thank you so much for being a part of this
Yes,
and
sir.
being on this
Appreciate you for having me.
episode. Yeah, of course, bro. And the last thing we always like to do is
Mm.
allow artists to plug themselves.
All
So
right.
feel free to tell us where
Okay.
we can get your music
All
and
right.
all that.
My name is Leekmatic. I'm a part of Kitboys Club Records. You can find me everywhere: Spotify, Apple Music, Instagram, Twitter, at Leekmatic, Leekmatic, and Kitboys Club.
Yes, sir. Well, thank y'all so much for joining us on another episode, and we'll catch you next week. Peace.
I'm Leekmatic, and thank you for tuning in to Fridays Are For Friends.